Good morning, good morning. Today is the 10th of July. Can you believe it already? Where has the time gone? So, I got here early to work today. Couldn't sleep, so I got up and just thought about going over some stuff for our live stream on Saturday. Looking at a couple of encounters to cover. Um, Not quite sure which ones I want to do yet. But I just wanted to say again, as I always do, thank you so much for all the support that you guys give the channel. I truly appreciate it. Um, let's see. So if you haven't been able to check it out, Maggie Johnson's episode dropped yesterday, Monday or Tuesday night. Sorry, Tuesday night I did. Hey, what's up, Dave? Ashes, what's up? What's up, Brad? So I did a live episode, a live interview with Brian King Sharp on Tuesday. Love doing that interview. I think I might try to bring that in, once a month, maybe do a live interview. Let me know what you guys think on that. Uh, Also, remember, you guys, I have the giveaway going still. The previous winner of the giveaway did not claim their prize. So, that hat, and then I just got confirmation the other item is on its way. So I'll be adding that to the little giveaway as well. Now, how do you get your name in on the giveaway? Simple. All you have to do is go to the channel, hit join, which means now you'll become a member of the channel. At cost $2.99 a month. Your name will be entered in for the drawing, which ends on the 25th of this month. You'll get early access to a Saturday release show. I do those once a month. And just let you guys, just kind of recap on when I drop content. It's every Wednesdays and Fridays, I drop a new episode. Then once a month, I do a 2 for Friday. So you'll get 2 new episodes on a Friday. Every Saturday night is going to be a live stream. Now, this coming, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, I'm not sure that we'll have a live stream. And the reason being is my daughter, Maggie, I think her husband, and maybe 1 or 2 other people, we're going to be traveling to Elkhorn, Wisconsin. We're going to meet up with Lee Hample, who was on my show a couple weeks ago. We're going to tour his farm, and then we're going to walk Bray Road. And we're going to look for some stuff, maybe some evidence of the Beast of Bray Road. Who knows? So I'm going to try to see what the signal is like out there, and I'll try to go live from that, and we'll see what happens. Now, I'm not expecting anything, but just the fact that I'm going to be in the location of where the Beast of Bray Road was spotted, with some people trying to investigate, see what's going on out there. Am I expecting? No, I'm not expecting to see anything. Would it be cool? Yes. Maybe hear something. That might be cool. I don't know if I want to have a up close and personal encounter with the Beast of Bray Road, because if I'm not mistaken, one of the encounters that happened was a young lady was driving home down Bray Road, and she thought she hit something. So when she got out to look, she walks down to the back of her car, back of her vehicle. I want to say it was a truck. And what does she find? Okay, let me ask. So we got Colton. Hello. And JF Games. Hello. Sandy. Hi, how's it going? But what does this lady find? This lady looks up and sees this creature standing not too far away from her car or her vehicle. She runs back and gets to her truck. Again, I don't know what it was. Truck, car, vehicle. I'll just say car. That means truck, whatever. But she runs back to her vehicle and jumps in and takes off. But it doesn't end there. Hola. This creature is now in full pursuit of this person's vehicle. And it actually reaches out and grabs on to the back of the vehicle. No. Oh, yes. This creature grabbed the back of her vehicle, but she was going so fast it wasn't able to hang on. And she was able to shake it off. Now, hey, what's up, Ashes? Now, another incident that happened along Bray Road or in the vicinity of Bray Road, a person was driving down the road and they saw something on the side of the road and they thought for a second it might have been a coyote, but because it was eating some roadkill. What they saw was this creature then stood up and watched their vehicle. Again, I don't know what to expect. I really don't. I think we might have some like predator calls coming with us. Some people who have recordings of prey, maybe predator calls. I want to get a lot of activity if possible. Now, I'm not going to guarantee. Now, from what I also understand about Bray Road is that the people that live on Bray Road are very, very observant. So if there's somebody slowly creeping down the road, they're going to take notice. And I wouldn't be surprised if the law shows up and asks us what we're doing. And I'm just going to tell them, hey, we're here from Minnesota and we want to, I'm a podcaster and I'm investigating the, Bray Road and all that type of stuff. So, I'm so glad I'm in New Zealand. Too many terrifying creatures in the state. Well, hello to New Zealand, Sandy. Awesome. Hey, I had an interview last night, you guys. This is really awesome. I had an interview with someone from your neck of the woods, actually. Now, you're in New Zealand. This person was in Tasmania. And so I had a interview with a person from Tasmania, very nice guy, and he had seen what they call the Glimmer Man when he was like a freshman in high school, and he had a bunch of his mates with him, and all of them but one saw it at first, and then when they ran back to the house, the one that couldn't see it then saw it. So that was pretty cool. I saw Ray jump in. Who else is in here? Yeah, Sandy, very close, which is cool. And what's awesome is Australia pops up, I think, in my top four, areas where my podcast is watched. So you're my first New Zealander, and so that's awesome. I have a Kiwi friend. Cool. Yeah, he does. I was in Ash's room one time. Like he's got a podcast called the Boom Boom Room, but he also has a Discord channel, and then also on his YouTube, he has a YouTube channel that he plays a live game. He'll stream a game, and yeah, he's got a buddy that's from that region as well. So, and I had done an interview with somebody, and I jumped into Ray's YouTube channel and probably sat there for like 2.5 hours watching him play this game, which is funny. See, we even have cryptid stories here too. Hey, Sandy, let me ask you this: do you know anybody that's ever seen that? Is it Moha man? because I would love to hear about. That's the first thing I've never heard about that before. And when I hear about these cryptids in different regions of the world, I get really really interested. So now I have to do what I like to do. Get on Google. Man, look at you, Ray. You didn't have to give me that, dude. Thanks so much, man. Appreciate it. Hey, I hope you're safe, man. Hope you your shift's almost over, so you're not driving all the time. So, but yeah, man, I truly appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm gonna give that a like if I can. Let's see here. Give it a like. Give it a love. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate the support. But yeah, I mean, apparently there's a new thing here at work where if I get to work early, I can't sit at my desk. I've got to sit in like the break room, or I have to sit out in the parking lot, or I gotta sit in some, like, I don't know, conference room or whatever. I don't know, but it is what it is. Let's see here. Not very common, but quite a few stories from Moray Per and most European settlements. I am definitely going to have to check that out. You could probably do an episode on my coworker Frank. He's not always around, but when he is, he's mean and scary. Oh, come on, man. That's hilarious. Oh, my goodness. So, but again, yeah, you guys, I got that giveaway going on again. In order to get your name in on that giveaway, it is $2.99 to join the channel, the membership. It gets you early access to a Saturday show, which I do once a month. It'll get you in a drawing, and it's not going to be the only drawing I'm doing as time goes on. I'm really working on new products, working with some logos and things like that. I put 3 new up on the community page. 3 new logo ideas. And if you noticed, I switched my old logo to a new logo on the channel. So, yeah, I think that's my favorite one so far. I mean, I like the new ones, but I kind of like all of them. So I'm thinking about putting that logo on a t-shirt in the front. On the back of a t-shirt, have my saying, "Remember, a legend always begins with a sighting." And then for sweatshirts, put the logo on the back, and then like probably on the sleeve have the motto. But if I don't, I'll probably put it across the chest of the sweatshirt. So hats definitely, patches. I'm gonna probably do some patches. I got to talk to a person that I know that makes patches, so we'll go with that. But yeah, I just wanted to get on here and say thank you so much. Again, go back. I've got 2 new episodes out. Well, I've got Brian King Sharp's live interview. I really like that. I really felt good. I was nervous because I didn't want to do the same old interview that I've done with people. So, Curtis, what's up, buddy? I've had to work a 16-hour shift the last few Saturdays, been missing the lives. Well, I can tell you right now, the last live, I ended it short. Had something I needed to attend to unexpectedly. Turned out to be really nothing, but so I'm going to make it up on the next live for you guys. So this Saturday, I'm going to really try to bring you multiple encounters, kind of dive into them. Now, I could always do ones, I already did Ape Canyon and I did Marble Mountain and things like that. But I want to bring you guys something that maybe you haven't heard before. And I've got a list of them. And again, like the Siege of Honabi, which is in Oklahoma. That's a terrifying one. Josh and I covered that on his channel on a Thursday live that we used to do regularly. But we covered that. I'm thinking about doing the Moorbach Monster, which is in Moorbach, Germany. I've got to see if I can contact the person that I spoke to when I did that episode. Well, Sandy, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate it. Hey, Mount Rainier, Avy, the Avy May, that's my old stomping grounds. I lived in Tacoma, Washington, most of my life. I lived in Graham, Washington. That's where I had my sighting. I lived in Spanaway. I lived in Puyallup for a little bit. But I pretty much grew up on the north end of Tacoma, up by the University of Puget Sound, like blocks away from it. So, yeah. Do you? Do you? So, Sandy, what time is it there right now? It's got to be late for you. It's 6:34 here in Minnesota. So it's probably, well, it's the next day. So it's the 11th, if I'm not mistaken, where you're at right now. So if you love cryptid stuff, I think you're on the right channel. There's other great cryptid shows out there as well. Oh, so it's 11:35 p.m. on, is it the 10th or is it, yeah, it's the 10th. It's the 10th, correct? Where you're at. Okay. Because my interview last night was at 7:30. And I was speaking with Daniel doing the interview in Tasmania, and it was like 10:30 in the morning. Okay, yeah, so yeah, 25 more minutes, and you're gonna be into the 11th. So, but yeah, I appreciate it. I normally do the lives like 8:30 Central Standard Time, which would probably be a Sunday mid morning for you. I want to say possibly. Again, I'm not really sure what the whole time difference is, but it still blows my mind. I'm talking to you, and it's almost tomorrow, where you're at right now. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. But for this live this Saturday, I really want to um, bring you guys multiple stories, multiple encounters, and not necessarily eyewitness accounts, which I absolutely love, but I want to tell you guys about an incident that happened. Like I said, we did um, Ape Canyon and things like that. And, I don't want to do the ones that have been done so many times. Hey, what's up, Jeff? I don't want to do the ones that have been done so many times. I want to bring some more that are lesser known, but still kind of crazy to hear about. So I'll definitely have something good for you guys on Saturday. Again, I truly, truly apologize for having to end the live early last Saturday. This Saturday, hopefully, I'll have both my co-hosts with me, Sabrina and Maggie. Um, Honestly, I can't think of a better crew to have with me. Um, they help me out more than they know. So, but yeah, so you guys, again, just stay tuned, stay with me. I'm just letting you guys know what some of my goals are. I've already exceeded one of my goals. So to have 3,000 subs by the end of June, that happened. I'm at 3174, 75 maybe. Um, by the end of the summer, I'd like to get to 5,000. So, we've got until the end of August. We got about a month and a half probably. So September 4th is Labor Day. So by September 5th, I should say, by September 5th, I'd like to have 5,000 subs. Um, I don't think that's a far stretch. I just got to keep putting out great. Hey, what's up, Chavez? I got to keep putting out great content for you guys and try to get those algorithms and get into that imaginary river of the algorithm and try to bring it out to more people. So, one way that can happen is if you guys share any of the episodes that I have. Just click on the episode, hit share. Don't forget to hit the likes. And when you share it, on your Facebook or wherever, say, hey guys, if you think it's a good show, ask people that you're sharing it with to sub. And I'd like to get this out globally. I really would. So let's see what we got here. Let me see. There's that one Headless Canyon or something. Yes, I am going to talk to a friend of mine, Neoma Finn. She has got some great stories. I'm going to reach out to her and see if there's anything that she knows that she could probably send my way. If you sincerely want to really, really have a great episode, we just did a live with Neoma like 2 weeks ago, I want to say, a Saturday live. She was on there, fantastic storyteller. And then her episode is dropping I want to say maybe tomorrow. So stay tuned for that one. But yeah, so I'm gonna stop yapping here real quick, and I'm gonna kind of open it up to whoever's watching for some questions. If you guys have some questions, go ahead and drop those in the comments, and I'll see what I can do. See how I can what I can come up with for an answer. So let's see those comments. Let's see those questions. Yeah, Neoma is great. She's like a hidden gem in a way, because I mean I know a lot of people know the name, but to hear her tell the stories are fantastic. They are amazing. Like she was telling the one I'm not going to get into because I want you guys to go back and watch that live and then watch her episode. I believe her episode's dropping tomorrow. Um, but she got into one story and I was on the edge of my seat the entire time she was sitting there telling that story. And she's so knowledgeable. She's such a great investigator, and she really knows how to get in and dig into the history of things and compile all of this information, then put it into one really, really cool story. And a lot of times, if you've heard her tell a story, you can look that story up online, and you're not going to get the complete story all in one place like you will with Neoma. So I really dig her. She's a great person. She's a really, really, I consider a friend now. And yeah, anybody gets a chance to watch her show, definitely check her show out. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to go ahead and drop them in the comments. I'm seeing a lot of people pull up here to work now, so a lot of people walking into work. But yeah, so any questions? What do you guys got? What do you got for me? Any questions? No questions. I'm sure some people are probably getting up and getting ready to go to work or taking a break. I know my buddy Jeff, he's a dairy farmer. So that man, he's working like 7 days a week. When are you releasing my episode? Your episode should be releasing next week. I have to look. What am I eating for lunch? I am going to eat a salad with grilled chicken. That's what I'm going to eat. That's what I'm eating for lunch. A salad with grilled chicken, a ranch dressing, and then this bad boy right here, my Yeti, I'm going to be probably filling it up with ice and water. Okay, Curtis asks, when is acceptable to decorate for Halloween? Brother, you can decorate Halloween anytime and every time you want to. I have a friend of mine that keeps a Christmas tree up year round, and then they decorate that Christmas tree with whatever season it is, whatever holiday it is. So they've got a tree up that's decorated all year round. What is your opinion on the Dyatlov Pass? I can't pronounce the word, but I know what you're talking about. And so here's my thing. At first, I thought it was a Yeti attack. The like last picture on the roll of film with that thing kind of stepping out on the path behind them. That was very convincing to me. But now over the years since I've been into this whole thing, I've really watched a lot of stuff and listened to a lot of stuff on that incident. I may catch heck for it, but it's my opinion. I don't think that they were killed by a Yeti. I don't think so. All the scientific stuff that's going on, they showed where the encampment was. They showed that it was downslope. They could tell that there was a small avalanche that hit that camp. Just side effects of hypothermia, as you feel like you're hot, you're on fire almost. So that would be a reason why some of the people were in different states of undress. Why were their bodies in different parts of around the area? Confusion, hysteria. Hypothermia does a lot of things. They could have been trying to exercise and then just not, got lost in the snowstorm. Experiment again. That's one thing though. That's one thing. There was odd readings of radiation, which again, I don't understand how their bodies are going to have radiation on it. So in my garage, ready to. Okay, so okay, PLK. Okay, buddy, if that's your thing, go ahead. I mean, yeah, okay. Hey, my mods, take care of this guy. Go ahead and ban that user. Thank you. Okay, fair call. I've always been on the fence. Yeah, I've been on the fence with that as well. You guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, I have amazing mods. Ashes, my dude, thank you so much. Sandy, my chats are not like that normally. Um, and thank you so much. So I'm glad that we got rid of him really quick. I can't stand that. The radiation is what confuses. Jeff, that's the same thing. And Sandy, that's what confuses me as well. Is the radiation. I don't have an answer for that. Now, you may not know this, but Ron Moorhead was actually um, flown to Russia by the Russian government to. I don't think he investigated that area, but he investigated some other area of possible cryptid activity. I think that's also in my interview with Ron Moorhead, which is amazing. Um, was timed out by Ashes for. Hey Ashes, I want him banned. I don't want him ever to come back on my channel. So, but any more questions? Because I mean, it's great. You're in New Zealand. You don't have these type of cryptids, so to speak. Any other cryptid questions you have? Thanks, Ashes. I'd rather sit here and talk to you guys. If I get here like 35 minutes early, I may do a live every morning just to talk to you guys. I mean, we have a lot of cryptids out here, and there's some of them that I'm skeptical about as well, like bat squatch or bear squatch, sheep squatch. But apparently, people have seen these type of things, man. Trolls are always lurking. See, don't want to take. No, Sandy, please go ahead, ask the questions. Because here's the thing: you are now part of my community. You're part of my family, and you'll see that the guys are here: Jeff and Ashes and Chavez and Colonel Greasebag McQueen. Yeah, Sheep Squatch. I did an episode on Sheep Squatch. It's a Saturday. It's a live show. So if you go into the page and you click on lives, you'll see it. It's on there. It's crazy. I might be a low level mod. I don't know what that means. Do you need more power? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, Sandy, Sheep Squatch. It's right off the top of my head. I can't remember how to describe it, but it's something that's out there, and I want to say. They say it's got like woolly white fur. And see the goat man. See, I'm trying to find more. I'm trying to find people that's had encounters with goat man. Now I put a post out on because I was in the Air Force. A lot of people know that. I was just reading on Flatwoods Monster. I'm gonna read on that some more. I might bring that up in Saturday's live. But I was a security police officer. I was stationed in Germany and Wyoming, and so I belong to a lot of these Facebook groups that are specifically for Air Force security police, air police security forces, looking for the big guy. Rick last name from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I watch every time you're on. Thanks. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for coming on and jumping in the chats. So thank you. So a lot of things that I'm seeing popping up is at these different Air Force bases, people are seeing things and encountering things. Not only paranormal, but also cryptid. So the goat man, if I remember right, has been mentioned 4 or 5 times on some of the posts that I've done. Um, and where are you again, Jeff? But also UFOs, Sasquatch. You guys, I have got some great interviews coming up. Yeah, that's right, Maryland. That's right. I have got some great interviews lined up, and I want to say, out of like the 6 that I have coming up, 4 of them are military. 4 of them are military. Um, we're going to talk about Bigfoot. We're going to talk about UFO. Um, so yeah, and that's what you're going to get with my channel, Sandy. Is, you know, I can sit in here and I can talk about Bigfoot, 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 Bigfoot. That's my favorite cryptid of all time. You know, I love Bigfoot. But you're gonna get Dogman. You're gonna get the Loveland Frogmen that I cover. I'm open for pretty much any and all cryptid sightings. Um, yeah, the Goat Man of Beltsville. I'll have to look that up because I don't have him on. See, here is like my list of interviews with people that I'd like to have with what they've encountered. Goatman, the Kushtaka, um, the Jersey Devil, Mothman. Let's see what else. What else is there that I'd like to have? I don't mind any of the water cryptids like Nelly and Mogo Pogo or whatever their names are. Yeah, exactly, right across the board. You know, there are so many podcasts out there that deal, that only really stick with Bigfoot, and I don't have a problem with that because I subscribe to quite a few of those podcasts. Marcus Spikes, how about you in a mirror? That would be the most interesting one of all you had in your whole entire life, I believe. What are you trying to say, Marcus? What are you trying to say? How about you in a mirror? That would be the most interesting one of all. You and your I don't know. If you're trying to insult me, man, it's over my head. You know why? Because I just don't care. Bro, I'm a Gen Xer, man. I'm a prior military vet. You can't hurt my feelings, you know? So, Mothman is fascinating. Yes. And again, that's from Point Pleasant, West by God, Virginia. Now, here in the States, and Curtis is from West Virginia, you ask someone, hey, where are you from, or where's your family from? A lot of times, like my mom was from West Virginia. She would say, I'm from West by God, Virginia. So, yeah, give him a timeout. I'm so see. I think it's funny, the people try to insult me because I just don't care. Hey, what's up there, Wyatt? How's it going, Boone County Cryptids? That's another one, Sandy. They're just up and coming. They're just starting their podcast. So check out Boone County Cryptids. That's my buddy Wyatt and another friend of mine, Richard. They both do that. Um, they both do that podcast thing. Now these guys get out and about. They go out and they investigate. They got an area. Hey, Wyatt, where is that one area? What lake is that you had that encounter with Dogman? You can't ban anybody. All right, I'll look into that and see if I can get to where you can ban them. All right, I'll let you do that. I'll do that with all my mods. Yeah, Table Rock Lake, Sandy. Table Rock Lake. I've had White on my channel twice. It's for one incident that him, Richard, D.A. Roberts all went out to this area to investigate, like this abandoned campground. And oh yeah, Jeff. I'm so sorry, man. Old Line Cryptids. Check out Old Line Cryptids. Jeff is on there as well. He's one of the hosts on Old Line Cryptids. That's another good one. Um, but Sandy, so Wyatt from Boone County Cryptids and his friend Richard and D.A. Roberts and a couple other people, they went out to this abandoned um, um, campground, and they got to this campground via boat. Richard ferried him out there on the boat, and he was letting people off. different times, because the boat that he has, you can't put a lot of people on it. And he as they were letting him off, Richard started hearing noises and then getting eye shine, and they believe it was a dog man. Could have been also Sasquatch, but as the group of 7 individuals got off the boat at different times and started going up into the woods, they started getting a lot of activity, you know? So they started getting into a lot of activity, and they heard things, they saw things. They believed at one time they were actually being surrounded. And unbeknownst to everybody else, one of the individuals, he fell, he thought he hurt his leg. He did hurt his leg. He actually broke his leg. And so they had to get him out of there as soon as possible. And as they were trying to get to this little boat dock, uh, stuff really started ramping up around him. And it was getting to the point where they were getting ready to start drawing their sidearms. So, um, absolutely, man. Come on, White. You know I got you, buddy. But and Jeff, who's in the chat, he is a dairy farmer in Maryland, and he has a very active farm. And I don't only mean for farming. He's got cryptid activity in and around his farm. So that's pretty crazy. Now, Sandy, there's another podcast I'm gonna tip you off at, or tip you off to. Hey, Kelly, how's it going? And Sandy, what you want to do is you want to look for Mysteries Unknown. The host of that show is Josh Smith. He is like my brother. I call him my brother from another mother. Great dear friend of mine. We've only been friends for a little over a year now, but it seems like I've known him my whole life. So, Mysteries Unknown, Old Line Cryptids, um, Boone County Cryptids. Um, let's see, who else? Bigfoot Society, Jeremiah Byron. Fantastic podcast. He puts out stuff every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. Working and listening on the earbuds. Yeah, dude, I think there's certain states that are so active. It's crazy. So Sandy, just to give you like a little iggy, so when I was 12 years old, I had my sighting. I've only had one sighting. My dad bought some property in Puyallup, Washington. Um, Moved a fifth wheel, which is like a camper, out onto this property because he was going to build a house. And we were there for about a year and a half. And one night we were coming home, and as we were driving down this dirt road that you had to take, this old gravel road you had to take to get to our place, I noticed eye shine up ahead on the road. And I asked my dad, I said, Dad, please, turn the brights on. There's something up on the road. And he was like, oh, it'll move. It'll go away. It'll be gone. And the road kind of dipped and leveled out, then came up on a little rise and leveled out and then dipped down again. It did that a couple times before you got to our place. And so when we came back up the second rise, my dad turned his brights on, and he had some driving lights that were angled out so he could see both sides of the road, because there's a lot of deer, a lot of wildlife out there. And he didn't want one to run out and hit his car. He didn't want to hit one by accident, or. And when he turned the brights on, there was this female Sasquatch that was kind of on the side of the road. And she stood up, and she turned, faced the car, raised her hand like this to block the bright lights from her face momentarily. And then she did like a half turn and stepped off the road, and then off into the woods. And that wasn't the end of it. My dad put food out on this one part of the deck, and later that night they came up on the deck. You could hear them walking on the deck. But if you want to hear most of those stories, you can definitely check out Mysteries Unknown, because that's on there. But yeah, I was 12 years old at the time. My dad was, what, 34? My dad had me when he was young. He was 22 when I was born. But yeah, I heard vocalizations. And then come to find out later on, like a month or so, 2 months or so later, my brother informed us that he had seen two juveniles. Um, and he said they would come out and they would sit in the tree line where you couldn't see them. If you saw them moving, or saw something moving through the tree line, he knew what they were. And they would sit down in this little area where trees were kind of thick, and they would listen to the music that was playing from the speakers that we put out on the deck whenever we were out there barbecuing or playing games or whatnot. And he had thrown like a couple of baseballs, a couple of tennis balls out to them in that area, and he would go over there to look to see if he could get the tennis balls, if they had taken them, and he never found any of the tennis balls or any of the baseballs. Like, they just took them. um so yeah, that's my sighting. But I had two encounters prior to that I didn't realize were really encounters until I was this age. Maybe a few years ago, I realized, I'm like, okay, I've heard all of these things, I've seen this has happened, and realized that I had two prior encounters. And then I had an encounter while I was at Fort Dix, New Jersey, going through Air Base Ground Defense Level 1. It's like ground combat training for Air Force Security Police. Had an encounter while on maneuvers in the Pine Barrens. And then I had my last encounter was in 92, which is in Shelby County, Tennessee. I was home on leave, and my brother and I decided we wanted to go camping. So, Richie, what's up? How are you doing? Nice to see you. So, but yeah, it's pretty crazy. A lot of people that's coming in has had morning, Richie. How are you? I love it when you comment on some of the episodes, because you just don't rattle off. You have very well thought out comments, and I appreciate that. They're engaging. I truly appreciate it. But yeah, so kind of talking with Sandy a little bit here, you guys, and I hope that's okay with you, because I don't get a chance to talk to many people from New Zealand or Australia. um, Tasmania last night, I had an interview. Like I said, it was 7:30 my time, and it was 10:30 his time. So tell us a random dogman story. Okay, so random dogman story. Let's see which one pops out. I already talked about the Beast of Bray Road. Now, there is a gentleman who I highly respect. His name's Vic Cundiff. He has a podcast that deals exclusively with dogmen. Oh, you want one right there in Michigan? Oh man, I don't know. I don't know if I have like any specific dogman. I mean, I've heard a lot of dogman encounters. I could tell you something that odd happened to me in Michigan. Um, so Vic Cundiff. I listen to Vic every day, and I read stories quite often from his website. But here's an encounter, or something that was odd to me. I found very odd. So my son lives in Michigan. He lives in Cadillac. Okay. Um, he lives in Cadillac, Michigan, or Boone, Michigan. And yeah, I know. I got a chance to watch some of that. I got a chance to watch some of that. I love Vic's cadence in his voice. He's fantastic. I wish he would show his face, but you're not going to get that. So if you know him personally, you're lucky. Um, I would love to meet Vic. But anyway, so my wife and I, we were coming back, and I want to say it was around November, and it wasn't last year. Might have been the year before, so it might have been 2023. And we were driving through Escanaba, and it was like 2:30 in the morning. We had just gotten through Escanaba, so we were west of Escanaba, about maybe a mile or 2 miles outside of Escanaba, and it was foggy. I remember it was foggy. It was really, really thick fog, which I don't know if that's common up there in the UP. So as I'm driving, I look over. My wife is sound asleep. She's out. And I'm driving. There's no other vehicles coming my way or behind me. I'm the only one in this area at the time. And I see something moving through the fog from um, from left to right, or excuse me, right to left. And this thing's moving through the fog right to left across the highway that I'm on. And I start to slow down, but I hit my brights, and that was dumb because it just blinded me for a second because this fog was so thick. And so as I started slowing down, I had my driving lights on, and this figure just stops right in the middle of the highway. And I think it's like a 2-lane road, 2-lane county highway, whatever. And it just stops. And so I come to a stop, and then I see what it is. And I drive a Chevy Silverado Z71 4-wheel drive quad cab. You know, it's a big truck. You know, it's a 1500. It's a pretty big truck. I called it my big boy truck. And as I'm stopped, this figure then comes into view. And it is the absolute biggest wolf I have ever seen in my life. Ever. Bigger than any wolf I've seen in any zoo. Bigger wolf than I've ever seen in the wild. This thing was massive. It looked so big that if it wanted to walk up to the front of my truck, it could have lifted its chin up and rested it on the hood of my truck. That's how big this wolf was. And it was probably as wide as my truck was. And I just looked at that thing, and we locked eyes, and I felt I had to fight every urge that I had going on in me. I wanted to get out of my truck and walk up and give that wolf a hug. Like, it just, I wanted to hug that wolf because it was beautiful. It was a beautiful, beautiful, and I'm going to say animal because that's what it was. It was an animal. But months later, I had been talking with Josh about it. And as I was telling him about it, I said, let me check something. So the next time we talked, between those times, I went on Google Earth and I looked, and I found the exact spot where I had seen that wolf. And that wolf had come from an area where there was a cemetery. Very coincidental. Oh, I got gas. I got gas on it, man. See, you got the big boy truck. You got a 35, you know, you got 3,500 heavy duty. I don't. I just have your basic, well, big boy truck. Gas. I want a diesel, but I think, you know, as things happen, I might go down. Daniel, it would have been a brown pants moment if you'd stood. I'm telling you right now, if that wolf, if you have that, Ashes, email that to me or message to me in Messenger. If you have it, for real, send it to me. I'm being serious. Send it to me in Messenger. You know, why, you're right. If that wolf would have come up and then stood up and put both of its hands on the hood of my truck, I'd have crapped all over myself. I really would have. And then what would happen, there would have been, I would have needed a new windshield because I'd have pulled out my pistola and blown out my windshield. Like, for real. I have an SRT 8 Challenger. I'm telling you, that's one of my favorite cars. Is there any stories or cases that scared the heck out of you? Yes, there is. I'll tell you one real quick. So, my buddy Josh had on Mysteries Unknown, he had an individual that was out hunting when he was around 12 years old. And he had a 410 shotgun. And when he was out hunting, he saw what he thought was a fox. And so he brings up his shotgun, and he's aiming at it, and he's getting ready to shoot, and he hears in his mind, he hears don't. He hears don't. But as soon as he hears don't, he pulls the trigger and shoots this thing. And then in his mind, he hears shoot me. So it was trying to say, don't shoot me. And before he got shoot me out, this boy shot and hit it. Well, this thing goes, why did you shoot me? He hears this in his head. Why did you shoot me? And the guy, as a boy, hears himself answering, replying, because you scared me. And in his head, he hears, well, that's what I like to do. I like to scare people. And he then hears, don't think that I'm going to forget about this. I'm going to find you. I'm going to find you. And so over the years, this kid, grew up into a young man, and he's having these encounters with this dog man. And he keeps telling him, you remember me, don't you? I remember you. I told you I'm going to find you. One day he's driving home and he sees this thing on the side of the road, and it starts chasing his car. And it gets up to the side of his car, and he hears in his head, he goes, I still haven't forgot about you. And when I'm given the okay, I'm going to kill you first. That freaked this guy out so much that he completely gave his life to God. And he said when he did that, this creature no longer continued to taunt him and terrorize him. There's another one that's on Vic's channel, and I wish I remembered what episode it was, but it was this older gentleman, and this older gentleman was driving down this road, and if I remember right, he sees it standing on the side of the road, and it begins chasing his vehicle. And he described, and you when you hear this gentleman's voice, he's terrified. It's legit terror. He's not trying to make something out to be more than it actually is. This man is genuinely terrified as he's reliving this encounter. And the way he described smelling its breath and hearing the claws as it ran next to his car, and the sound of the nails scraping on the side of his vehicle as it reached into his vehicle to grab him. It's one of his first. Yeah, and he said, just listening to this gentleman tell this story, it's absolutely just terrified. It's one of the scariest encounters I've ever heard, and I would love to interview him if he was still around. So yeah, I'm actually going to go back and I'm going to go back and listen to that one, because that's a good one. That's a great one. So yeah, it was crazy. So if you could one more time for me, Sandy, what's the name of that monster again that's there in New Zealand? I think it's MOE, is it SUO or something like that? How do you spell that name? I'm so hooked. Hey, I just try to give you guys the best things I can. Plus the lady with the goose gun. Yeah. Oh, hey, Sandy, here's another scary one that I've had. So I had this lady on, and she was having these encounters with the Sasquatch that was around her cabin. And her husband was gone for the night, or he's still at work. Yeah, he's still at work. He wasn't home yet. And I think she had like 2 young kids, and they were all in the cabin, and they heard these Sasquatch. Yeah, there you go. MOEHAU. Let me write that down here. HAU monster. I'm going to look that up. But anyway, so as this lady hears these things outside of the cabin, she hears one of them step up on her front porch. Now, she's not your typical lady that lives out in the woods or whatnot. She's loaded for bear. And she goes and she grabs one of her handguns, and she raises it up and points it at the front door, because she knows on the other side of the door, is the Sasquatch. And as she is pointing her handgun at that front door, she hears in her mind, don't even think about it, because that's not going to help you. She heard that, and she put that gun down. And then a few moments later, her husband pulled up and comes in the house like nothing's going on, and sees his wife standing in the living room holding the handgun, wanting to know what's going on. And now, so Jeff, I know a guy that saw a pale crawler near me. Bro, you know how to get a hold of me. I need to talk to him, because in 1989, that's when I had my encounter. What's up, Tony? How's it going? Good morning. You got goosebumps. Vader's Pit Boss. Great stories for fireside chats. I'm just kind of retelling. I'm not getting it verbatim, but again, all these things are on the channel, you guys. If you want to go back, check out the videos. Um, yeah, I'm just trying to bring fun to everybody. But hey, so Vader, welcome to the chat. How you doing? Again, Tony, good morning. You guys, I am going to end this I'm going to give you guys 1 hour. Forget pale crawlers. Hell to the we. No, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Vader. I appreciate that. I try to remember every single. Here's another one that I found really, really cool. And again, I'm just going to summarize it. So this gentleman reached out to me, and he was an avid hunter, and he liked to do. Well, thanks, Vader. I appreciate that. So, and the reason I'm talking to Sandy as well, because Vader, I don't know if you know this, Sandy is from New Zealand. So me to get a chance to talk to someone in New Zealand is pretty cool. So this guy reaches out to me, says, hey, I had an encounter with a Bigfoot. And he was an avid hunter. He liked to hunt with muzzle loaders. Oh, look at Ray. My guy, Ray. What are you doing, man? Thank you so much. I appreciate you, buddy. You guys, Ray is not because he does things like this. It's just that he is such a nice person. We chat often. He became a really, really fast friend. I come to a lot of people in my chat I'm friends with. Some of them have my personal number. We're friends on Facebook. Wendy, welcome. So anyway, back to this story. So he reaches out and says, I'm an avid hunter. I saw one when I was out hunting. He likes to muzzle load. So he's in this area, and he had a friend with him. Now, his friend didn't have a muzzle loader. So he let his friend use his muzzle loader. His friend got his deer. And so he was going to say, you know what, I'm going to go out and get my deer. So he goes, and he's got his muzzle loader up, and he's out walking around, and he comes to this bench, which is kind of like a cliff. And he's looking out over, and it starts to snow. And it's a heavy snow, big flakes, heavy snow. And so as he's looking about, he looks down to the stream, and he goes, man, I can't just walk straight down this hill. I'll bite it. I'll fall head over heels. So what he does is he starts traversing down this hill, making these cutbacks and stuff, and he gets all the way down, and the snow is coming down really, really heavy. And so he looks across the stream, and he sees this big, like, spruce tree with the big, heavy limbs that are hanging down. It almost looks like it's like a Christmas tree, but the branches hang all the way down to the ground. And so it looks kind of like a teepee in a way. So he noticed there's a little area that he could walk in underneath this tree to check his powder, make sure his powder's dry, and just trying to get out of this weather a little bit. And so he goes out and he crosses the stream, and he gets underneath this tree. And as he's looking around, checking his stuff, he looks up, and he sees this figure standing at the top of this hill, this little cliff or whatever that he was just standing at. And he looks, and he goes, it must be another hunter. Now, the area that he was hunting, it was frequented by a hunting club. And what these guys would do is they would dress like in period garb, like back in the 1700s or 1800s. And he looked at this guy, he goes, oh, so this guy must be dressed as like a mountain man. And that's that's how this guy dressed when he hunted. So he didn't really think anything of it. But then he got another look. He's like, wait a minute, something's not right. That's a pretty big guy up there. So he goes and looks. I don't know if he's looking for binoculars or something, but he looked down, and when he looked back up, it was not up by that tree that he was just standing up, minutes before. And so he starts looking around, and then he notices it. Almost directly across from him on the other side of the stream is this massive, massive Sasquatch. He's got snow settling on his shoulders, his hair. He sees it all. He's probably 75 feet, if that, from this creature. And this creature's kind of looking around and doesn't see him. He's underneath this tree and he's looking at this thing, and he must have made a noise. Because as the creature is sitting and drinking cupfuls of water with his massive hands, he hears that noise and he stops. And then he looks. And he looks straight at my guest. And they have eye contact with each other. And the guest the guest says the Sasquatch stood up and bolted to the left. His left. And it ran down the shore of this stream so fast and then disappeared around a bend. He stood there for a second. I'm assuming he was in shock and awe. He got out from underneath this tree. The snow had started slowing down. And as he started walking down towards where this thing disappeared, he realized how rocky and uneven this terrain was. And he said this thing traversed it like he was running track. Like it was so fluid and so smooth that it didn't slow down because the boulders were all it was just all uneven, and it moved across that uneven ground with no problems at all. So what he did is, of course, like anybody sane person would do, he left and he went back up the hill because that's where his camp was. So as he's heading back up, he goes underneath the tree that had that big limb out there. And I have to go back and look, Sarah, but for some reason I want to say it happened back west somewhere. As he went back to that tree, he noticed, and Sarah, good morning. Hi, how are you? I'm sorry I didn't say good morning or hi. He noticed these massive footprints that were there. So he started going back towards camp, and as he's he's not too far away from camp. But then he noticed something else. As he's about halfway between that tree and camp, he notices the same set of footprints stepped out onto the trail and had been following him. And so what he believes is that Sasquatch was tracking him. And when it stopped underneath that tree that he had stopped underneath prior, it was looking around for him, and he didn't know that it had gone underneath that tree. So that's another one of my favorite stories. So, yeah. So you guys, it is 7:22 a.m. here in lovely crappy Minnesota. Mags, what's up? You guys, that is another person. She's one of my mods, but she's also my co-host on my Saturday live shows. And she is one of the people that I'm going to be going to Elkhorn, Wisconsin with. Hey man, time I'd like to hit you up about a crazy theory that I may have. You can hit me up anytime you want to, buddy. Where are you at? Sarah, where are you at? Hi, it's 12. Good morning. Where are you located, Sarah? Yeah, Rays, you can hit me. You can hit me up anytime, buddy. And where did I get this hat? I got this hat in Seattle, Washington, buddy. When I went back there for that thing. Um, so yeah, I got that. I got that in the actual SeaTac airport. I saw it. I couldn't. I could not pass it up. So you're in Iowa. So you're in the stomping grounds of Jeremiah Byron from Bigfoot Society. He lives in Iowa, and you're just south of me. I'm up here in Minnesota. See, I'm in New Jersey. I'll catch up and drop you some comments. I appreciate that, Vaders, so much. Thank you. And one of my encounters was up in your neck of the woods, man. Pine Barrens, up there in New Jersey. I was at Fort Dix, New Jersey, doing some air base ground defense, ground combat training for the Air Force. So you're in South Kakalaki. You've been there a few years. Awesome. There's some crazy stuff that's in South Carolina as well. So, all right, you guys, I have got to get into that building that's ahead of me. So I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for stopping by and hearing this old guy jaw around a little bit. Hope to give you guys a little bit of stuff. Hey, Tony, hit me up with the comments, man. You and I will connect. All right, you guys have a great day. As Josh always says, everybody stay prayed up. And as I always like to say, you guys, remember, a legend always begins with a sighting. Have a great day, guys. Check out the content. Bye.